How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan and this is Haye, and welcome back to another edition of Box Talk. It's time for This Week in Boxing, where we give you all the news, reviews and the fights from the past week. And finally, after 3 weeks, we've actually got a lot of fights to talk about.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
And the shows have been an hour plus regardless.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Get your tea and coffee ready. This could be a long one.
Yeah. Let's go to Germany. Let's go to Marco Huck Ola Afolabi 4.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for Afolabi.
I felt sorry for the whole event.
Yeah, it looked empty in there.
You could hear someone say, "Make a coffee" in the arena. It was that quiet.
Yeah.
No, honestly, and Germany, look, we know the Germany crowds are not loud and they don't scream and shout anyway. I don't know why, it's weird. They don't do it at all. They kind of just watch it, like, you know, but regardless, it was empty in there.
No, you dim the lights, but it's so empty, you can still see the silver lining of the chairs in the background.
Yeah.
It was an empty arena. Or one side of the arena.
Yeah, at least one side.
At least one sided, yeah. Looking at the fight, we said that Ola's been on a slip, and then he kind of made a comeback. And before that, Huck, just because he lost to Glowacki, that he's still a threat. And I think Huck proved that. He absolutely hammered Ola from the first round. And Ola, as predicted, started to fight Huck's fight for about 2-3 rounds until it was too much for him. I mean, let's be fair, the fight went, 10 rounds?
Could have been gone. It could have stopped about 8.
Yeah, it could have stopped about 7 or 8. I mean,
I did say in the preview that we done for the video, I said I don't want to get too, when doing my prediction and picking Huck, I said I almost discounted Glowacki loss because that could have happened to anyone, and I almost felt wrong, but I discounted Afolabi's win as well, because I thought the guy Afolabi, I can't remember his name now.
Chakiev.
Yeah, I just thought he was a muscle-bound Superman. You know what I mean? A light heavy, really. He's not. He's just all stocky and muscle. So, and that showed. I did say as well, Afolabi can't fight Huck's fight. Afolabi's the taller man. He's got the longer jab,
and I think he's got better overall skills.
He's definitely got, because Huck's still a bit, you know, you know what he's coming with Huck. And as soon as the first trade went in the first round, that was it.
Yeah,
I knew it already.
I will never like to call a fighter a one-trick pony, but we know Huck's a one-trick pony.
He's a one-trick
we
pony.
know, but his one trick is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Tough as hell, very good chin, walk you down and trade. Wherever you throw, I'm gonna trade. And you knew that was coming. I mean, like, it's easier said than done. But box on the back foot, use angle, use the ring, cut him down, cut him off, but he couldn't.
And you know, we say it's easier said than done. Yeah. Maybe so. When you fought someone 3 times prior,
you should know.
You should know what's kind of coming.
Yeah.
You should be like, all right, you know what's going to happen here. Off, don't get dragged in. Use your jab, stay off, move a bit. You're the fitter guy. He's naturally I won't say he's naturally slimmer, but he's more the athletic looking of the two. Use your legs a bit. And he thought, you know what? Let me just trade with you.
All credit to Huck, but I definitely think Ola's done now. Like that was his last hurrah. Like before he was on a slide, he's definitely slide. I wouldn't say he's shot, but he's no longer the fighter people consider him to be a year, 18 months ago, 2 years ago. And
I think 4 Huck fights will do that to you. Yeah. Think about that.
Yeah.
4 brutal Huck fights. Even the one that I thought he might have won was brutal. Yeah. Regardless. So he's had 4 of those. Yeah. And that's just too many.
And as we said, I think Huck is still legit. I think he's no worse than second best in the division. And if he fought Glowacki again, based on that performance last night, he could win.
But I think Glowacki could do that to Afolabi.
No, I'm just saying though, Huck's not slipped. He ain't dropped off the radar.
No. It's a good fight. Yeah, it's a good fight for them too. But the problem for Huck when Glowacki is that Huck done what he does to everyone, and Glowacki just stood there. Yeah, and that's a bit. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a concern. Yeah.
Yeah, but he switched trainers.
It's kind of like a younger version of yourself.
Yeah, I think Huck switched trainers.
Yeah, he did. So who emailed us? Someone emailed a message saying that obviously when he left for
America, he lost his training split,
and he was training in the Sauerland's gym.
Yeah,
I think.
So he can give himself that excuse in his head that give me a rematch with a proper trainer, proper camp. We'll see what happens. And that's the fight that's going to happen next if Glowacki gets past Cunningham.
Let's go to America and let's go with Leo Santa Cruz, Kiko Martinez. Okay. The only fight I didn't get to see live. Only fight I didn't get to watch.
Okay.
Yeah, so I read the result and saw what happened. Did you get to see the fight?
I saw the fight. Kind of as predicted. We kind of said a mid-round stoppage, early stoppage, and it kind of was that. It could have been done in the first. Yeah, dropped him twice. The first bunch was hard. Kiko Martinez done well to get up, but almost Kiko Martinez got touched, I kind of felt like he shot this guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's shot. I mean, yes, after the Quigg loss, he's come back and had 3 fights against nobody's really.
Yeah.
But when you're in that kind of Premier League, if you like, of that division, and Santa Cruz is the Premier League of that division, he kind of got smoked. Credit to him though, 2nd, 3rd and 4th round, he kind of rallied a bit.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel like, okay, you're showing your experience, you're going to go out on your shield, I give you credit to that, but then the finishing, Santa Cruz, I think he must have thrown about 20 punches to finish, maybe not that many. No. I'd say about 60% of them connected.
Alright.
It was hard. It was very hard to watch.
I haven't watched the fight, so I can't give you a fair opinion on the fight. But from reading what I've read, I'm a little concerned with Santa Cruz. He said that he threw a really high punch output from the whole fight.
Yes.
The first round, he threw 142 punches and kept that type of pace. I wouldn't say you're trying too hard, but 142 punches in 1 round, and I'm trying to say, even though you put the person down twice, is a lot of effort you're putting in. You know what I mean? It's like you're trying hard to get a stoppage, or you're trying hard to be impressive. You're trying hard. And just you won, you got the 5th round stoppage, but that might not be the type of performance you will do in the future. Because to throw 142 punches per round for 12 rounds, I don't think. I mean, it's not a good game plan to have. I think it would have been better for him if he actually boxed his normal pace and got the stoppage instead of rushing so hard. What I do like, that makes sense. It makes sense, but what I do like is that I've now seen 2 Santa Cruzes. Yeah. The Abner Mars one was a boxing clinic. You know, he moved, he slipped, he jabbed, he threw when he needed to throw, but he done everything. Yeah. This Santa Cruz is now a guy that shall not. You know, apart from what you saw in Abner Mars, I can do this as well. Yeah. So that might hold him in good stead in future fights, where sometimes you've got to go to the well and bite on your gum shield and throw loads of punches, or sometimes you've got to box. So I understand what you're saying, but at least now I've seen 2 Santa Cruzes. I'm just thinking it's very early to throw 142 punches in the first round, in the very first round, knowing that potentially you can go 12. I just think he saw Kiko Martinez hurt. Yeah. He's seen what happened with Scott Quigg and Kiko Martinez in terms of Kiko Martinez getting rushed and I wouldn't say quitting, but kind of just that was it. And I think he thought, I can quickly get this guy out of there. Yeah. You know, no one wants to work extra time if you don't need to. But again, maybe it was a squat kick performance. It was almost a case of, let me see if I can do better than that. He didn't, but I'm happy he went 5. I think the fans are happy it went more than 1 round. You don't want to go all the way there, main event, and it goes 1 round. You want to see 5 rounds, and we got the 5 rounds. Let's stay in America and go to the top rank card. And let's start with, was it William Silva versus Felix Verdejo? Yeah? Didn't watch it, so this is all you, my man. Yeah, a lot of hype for Verdejo. Is it Verdejo? Yeah. He's definitely talented. Yes. Definitely got skills. I like the way he changed levels in the first round. Second round, he kind of slow and kind of matched and see what the other people, what Silva was doing, and then he kind of upped the ante and tried to get faster, more powerful, more spite in his shots. But at the same time, though, timing was a little bit off. He was throwing the right hand a little too far out of range, and at times it made him look sloppy. The guy Silva, who was fighting, was good. He wasn't a bad fighter, was durable, was tough, was smart as well. He kept backpedaling, using his jab on the back pedal, so Verdejo couldn't catch him with good shots. But it was a fairly dominant performance. The judges had the fight basically all 10 rounds or 9 rounds to 1 for Verdejo. I think that was a top ranked card. I think it was more like Martin might have won 2 or 3. You know what I'm trying to say? Close rounds where it was just competitive, fair boxing. But Verdejo, definitely for real. They're saying his like the next future star. I can see why. He's entertaining. He's young. He's flashy. He's fast. Just needs to slow it down a little bit. But it kind of reminded me of when Miguel Cotto fought Kelson Pinto. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember when it was that kind of, I almost said coming out party, but it was just before Cotto reached the top 10 contender guys, and Pinto was another undefeated guy, and it was like, you need to get through this guy to prove that you are there. Same type of scenario, whereas Cotto got the stoppage in that fight, I think, in the 5th round. But it's the same type of thing, whereas this was the fight where it's, Verdejo is the WBC or WBO Latin title, so it's not really it's not a belt that we know. It's not a belt you follow, but now that you got that title and now you're fighting on the undercard of a big card, it's kind of like your next fight now has to be that type of top 10, top 15 type of guy, a name type guy, which brings you forward going, you know what I mean? What I will say, and it's maybe similar to a bit of Box Nation over here, where, yes, Al Heyman and Matchroom have all the big fighters, but Top Rank and Golden Boy are slowly but surely getting a few decent names on their, you know what I mean, on their resume. Verdejo's one of them. There's a few others. Oscar Valdez is another. That's with Golden Boy, I believe.
And there's a few of them starting to slowly but surely come up the right way, which I like. And you never know what's going to happen in the next 18 months. The next 18 months will be interesting.
I tell you the problem is, yeah, Golden Boy and Top Rank's got these good fighters, and they are supremely talented, but only boxing fans know them.
Yes.
Because the PBC's mostly on domestic TV in America, the general public will know the other names more than the real good names. These young guys coming up, they won't get that same coverage.
They won't, but they seem to have a crazy following already. The thing that helps Verdeo and Oscar Valdez, especially Verdeo, is that he's coming back off the back of that Puerto Rican kind of heritage. With Miguel Cotto now pretty much retiring, they're looking for that next superstar to drag on to, and he'll be that person. I mean, Felix Trinidad said some real nice words about him. Felix Trinidad said, he reminds me of me, and he does. Felix Trinidad used to throw punches and bunches as well. Miguel Cotto never really done that.
I'll tell you this as well. It sounds bad though. If PBC does succeed, like I want it to succeed, how long will these guys stay with the current promoters?
I don't want BBC to succeed.
I know you don't, but I'm just saying though, let's be realistic. If PBC was to succeed and was to keep its current trend it's doing, will these young guys that's got contracts must be tied in for like million weaves with Top Rank, but if they could get out of it, will they stay?
We'll see. There's other big promotional companies trying to put their stamp on it now. Rock Nation, let's wait until in the next 18 months. You never know. Let's see.
Alright, let's stick with that Top Rank card. Let's go to the main event. Terence Crawford versus Hank Lundy. Good fight, but this is what I like about boxing. I never saw a knockout coming in round 5. I think that kind of came out of the blue. Lundy came up to fight from the beginning. Tagged Crawford early. Crawford knew he was in the fight from the beginning, and it made for an entertaining fight early. Whereas you were like, wait a minute, Crawford's getting tagged a bit. Know what I mean? And you knew that, guess what, this is going to be an entertaining fight. But Crawford, to his credit, adjusted, slowed it down a little bit, turned it around quickly in the 4th round, then put a stoppage in the 5th round. And the stoppage, it was a legit knockout. Looked a little sloppy in the 2nd knockdown, but the punch that hurt Lundy was solid as hell. I mean, good performance.
The first one or the knockout?
The first one. The first one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Very, very good performance. Very, very good performance. I
wouldn't say it's a very, very good performance.
No, it's a good performance. Good performance. Good performance.
Okay.
Yeah, good performance. Good performance.
Yeah.
I mean, he stopped Lundy in 5 rounds.
Yeah. You know what it is? Yeah, that's true. That's quite impressive, to be fair. Even though it's the matchup we said before that we shouldn't be having.
Yes.
So I still have to remember that in the back of my head. A lot of people I've seen, I've read some of the comments. A lot of people saying, "Oh my God, Crawford gets tagged too much again," and not everyone's going to be Floyd Mayweather and not get tagged. Crawford, yes, I think he knows he needs to kind of get that defense a bit tighter. But like Ryan says, he knows how to adjust, and he adjusts very, very well. From the first 2 or 3 rounds, he was getting tagged quite a lot for me. Maybe more than he expected, because I don't think he expected London to come out that hungry.
That's different, I think.
Yeah, and then when he was able to adjust in the 4th and the 5th, we saw what Terence Crawford can do. And he's finishing. It's impressive. It's impressive. You know, the thing is about Crawford, I don't know if it's because his arm wrench, I don't know what his arm length is. He doesn't need to get in to hurt you. Whereas most boxers need to get on the inside. He stands on the outside.
About keeping your distance and picking your shot. Keep your distance and pick your shot.
He definitely does that.
That's what it's supposed to be.
When he's slowed down, he does.
When he's slowed down, See, here's the thing about Crawford and his defense. Now, there's no rules to boxing of how you post to box. But normally, the first round is kind of, I'm going to try to feel you out, and you're jabbing and you're moving and you're getting little angles. When someone starts winging hooks at you, it's a different ball game. You know what I'm trying to say?
This wasn't in the contract.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's not saying you can't do it, but it's just that, alright, then I got tagged, I got hit because this guy's throwing shots. Don't quote me, but I swear, like, when Lundy came out, he just threw like a right hand, like, that's the way it seemed, like, I'm just going to take your head off. You know what I mean? And I think that's why Crawford got tagged more earlier, because it wasn't. If you didn't know any better, you'd have thought the 1st round was the 5th round.
Yeah, you guys, and what Ryan said makes sense, because you guys watch a lot of 1st round fights, but especially when guys talk a lot. There's a little feel out. We're going to get to the Frampton Quigg one. You kind of understand if you watch that fight. There's a lot of feel out. Even normally first 2 or 3 rounds. So it's like, okay, what have you got? What have I got? Lundy was like, F that. And he did connect with a few, but Terence Crawford got the win. It's just what was next now.
But then if you look at round 3 to 5, Lundy didn't land half of what he landed in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, that's because when skills pay the bills.
Exactly.
I think Terence Crawford shows why a lot of people think he is the #1 140-pounder.
Yeah.
And why he's in a lot of people pay-per-view. Someone left a comment on one of our videos and said, Crawford in top 5 pound for pound. How dare you guys? He hasn't fought anyone. He's a bum.
Yeah.
Didn't respond. What we've got with Crawford, and Crawford's proven it to everyone now, we've got a boxer that can now punch.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous thing. We've seen that with Golovkin and Kovalev. When you got boxers that can punch, I mean, Bob Arum's just going ching, 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 ching right now because he knows there's a big matchup coming and money's on Crawford.
Yeah, I think Crawford I think the move from 135 to 140 for Crawford was mostly the best thing for him. Whereas he was good at 135, and obviously when he beat Ricky Burns over here, he looked tremendous.
People forgot about that.
Yeah, but since going up to 140, Lillard seems more solid overall. I think that's the weight.
Yeah, it's the weight, but let's not take away it's the confidence as well. I mean, at 135, Ricky Burns, Beltran, Gamboa, 3 decent names, and you've gone up now and you beat the other guys, the 140 guys. Look, I think 18 to 24 months we'll see him go up to 147 as well. I don't see any much size difference between him and someone like a Devin Alexander, for example.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's not much difference in there. Bradley's tiny, he's fixed it, but he's a short guy. All you got to do is add a few pounds on your calves, your legs. He'll go up and he'll cause problems at 147.
And in saying that, though, like, obviously I'm not saying he's Floyd Mayweather, but there's a picture of him and Floyd Mayweather basketball game a few months ago, and Crawford was clearly bigger than Floyd Mayweather. Yes, which means that obviously that he's not. Floyd was a big welterweight, don't get me wrong, but I just say that he has the right type of size and stature for it.
And finally, you look at the welterweights. I mean, apart from Brook, who's a big guy, and Furman, not that big.
Nah, I think we went through an era of the
giants and how they made
it. There were just some super big welterweights that were not naturally welterweights, like Paul Williams, Margarito, Cintron. I mean, guys that are 5'11", 6 foot, 6'2", that walk around clearly above 170, but we're dropping down to 147.
It makes me question those guys a bit. It's another video, but makes me kind of question now how they even done it. Do you know what I mean? But hey, it's another video.
Alright then, let's move forward and let's go with the UK card. Gavin McDonald won.
What I will say before we talk about the main kind of, I will say about the undercard, and I was maybe a bit disparaging when I said something like we don't know a lot of these names, a lot of these kids, and poor undercard. But what it does do on the flip side is give these guys wicked exposure.
Oh yeah.
For a big pay-per-view event, sometimes you want to see the marquee names to sell the event, but when the main card sells itself, why not give some of these young kids that no one really knows a good chance to kind of shine? That was good.
It's not even that. This was one of the first matchroom cards that I treated like a Frank Warren card. And you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, top to bottom.
I watched the whole card from 6 o'clock in the evening all the way down to the last fight and enjoyed the card. It weren't a card where you got a marquee name in a setup fight or a marquee name in a fight that kind of that normally matchroom match a good name on the undercard with substandard opposition. I mean, this one and that, so you had good, fair matches. And to be fair, there was lots of good matches on there. We can't review all of them. I mean, but it was a fairly balanced card in terms of competitive matches. So let's go. Let's say Gavin McDonald won. Went to points. Can't remember the guy's name who was fighting. Good performance. Dropped him early. Dropped, I think, in the second round. And then kind of, I won't say dominated, but dominated the fight. Got a comfortable points win. Good performance. Let's see where Gavin McDonald goes from here.
What weight's Gavin McDonald? Super bantam as well? He's super bantam?
Very super bantam.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happens with the McDonald brothers. Well, I know what happens with Jamie. I think Jamie's frighteningly good.
I think.
But the problem is you always compare Jamie to Gavin.
That's the problem.
So you always compare one performance on the other, and that's going to be the issue going forward in terms of what they do. So it's always going to be tough. But regardless, it's a win. It's a good win, and it puts him in that mix. Puts him in the mix.
Okay, let's go to the main event. What everyone's been waiting for. Quigg Frampton. Well done to Frampton. He won. Well done. You won the bet.
Yeah, I've done it before. Nothing new.
Like I ain't won the bet before.
Yeah, but my picks are harder than your picks. No. My picks are always harder than your picks.
No way.
Let's talk about
the fight. Let's talk about the fight.
Porter, that was a tough fight to call. Everyone knew that was a tough one. Tough fight to call. In fact, I went with the underdog because I think Porter was favourite. Cotto, Canelo. Look, my heartstrings told me.
That was a tough fight to call as well.
90% of the fan people had Canelo being too strong. Come on, let's be honest. I'm racing. Come on, racing.
It was a 50-50 fight. It was a 50-50 fight going into it.
All right, mainly, but this one was tougher.
Alright, anyway.
Anyway, thank you. When am I getting the bottle?
You get in the week.
In the week?
You get in the week.
You said that you heard that on camera. In the week. Don't like that. So by this week, next week in boxing.
I'll drop in my car, drive a couple miles to the shop, and go get it one day after work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet. Don't worry. I'll give you a glass.
No, it's alright. It's alright. I got a bottle in my kitchen, I think.
Oh, arrogance now. Arrogance.
No,
you sound like Floyd Mayweather there.
I just say I don't need a glass. No, I mean, Frampton won the fight. I think Frampton won fair. I didn't think it was a split decision.
No.
I think it could. No. I think there was an opportunity for a split decision if Quigg won the last round.
Yeah. But
that would still been a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, it'd have been a stretch.
It'd have been a bit of a stretch, but you wouldn't have complained about it too much.
Yeah.
The fight, to me, honestly and truly, came down to the first 4 rounds. I always thought that you had to kind of weather the storm with Frampton. I always thought that Frampton was going to come out like a bull in the china shop. And, you know, I said Quigg will be behind by halfway point in the fight. That was my prediction. Frampton didn't come like a bull in the china shop, but he came out clearly more aggressive. Quigg was prepared for that and had a higher defence and was blocking, and a lot of the shots were not landing really clean. They were like hitting the gloves, and you know, Quigg was moving a lot. The problem is though, is that as much as the punches weren't landing, so you can't say they were really scoring punches, Quigg weren't throwing nothing back. So in terms of judging, you kind of stuck with, do you give the point to the guy that's trying to make the fight and throwing punches but not really landing nothing, or Quigg who's blocking a lot of punches and popping off a single jab or a single shot, because that's what he was throwing, just single shots. And I think that's where you got the discrepancy in the scorecard between one judge had it 16-12, 116-112 to Frampton, and one had it 116-112 to Quigg.
Did it 116, 112?
Yeah.
I thought it was 115, 113. I think Quigg got it 116. So Frampton won 2 judges 116, 112, and I think the other 115, 113.
But you got my point. And that's the reason why, because the judges are thinking, wait a minute, do I score to the guy who's being defensive and is in a safe situation, or do I judge it on the guy who's actually trying to make a fight out of it? Because I think clearly from rounds 5 to 8, 9ish was clearly Frampton, and then the last rounds was, I would say, more favoured Quigg, but I wouldn't say they were Quigg rounds, because I think Frampton won the 12th round. Yeah, but that's what I think where the discrepancy came in. I think Quigg's going to be very, very disappointed in himself at the end of the fight. When he goes home, watches the replay, he's going to think, holy, why did I do that?
I don't know if he will. I don't know if he will, because
I'll tell you why in a minute.
I don't know if he will, because I just think that's his level. I think that's his boxing knowledge. I think that's his boxing skills, and a lot was made about his boxing brain. And I think that's his level. No disrespect, people, of his boxing brain here. It's all well and good when you go to the corner and you get a minute with Joe Gallagher, but you've got 3 minutes in the ring to adjust and show what you can
work
do.
with yourself.
You got hit with a couple of Frampton shots. Wait a minute, they don't hurt. Let me just do what I know I can do. But it still was, it still was a bit for me, a deer caught in headlights. There was a time when I thought, wow, maybe Frampton was right. Maybe he's not been in this event or this kind of atmosphere and this kind of arena and been the home guy. Remember, this guy's been on the undercards of undercards, people. This was his chance to shine. Yeah. And I feel like he got nervous and weren't able to shine. Like Ryan says, the first 4 rounds, you could have given him 10-10, but as Frampton was the offensive fighter. Yeah. And yes, they weren't hurting, but Quigg was just tucking up and then all of a sudden tried to wing one. Yeah. And you're thinking, where'd you jab? I don't know, there was no compy box, and that's what I hate sometimes about English fights, but I'd love to have seen how many jabs were thrown by Quigg in the first 6 rounds, and it could have been as low as 20, maybe even less than that. He threw no jabs at all. Yeah, and you're thinking, from a guy that clearly has the longer reach advantage, throw a jab, get inside and see what you can do.
This is why I say he's going to be disappointed with himself. I'm going to tell you 2 reasons why he's disappointed with himself. Quigg's stance with his height and where he had his legs really wide and at high guard was perfect to throw long straight jabs. Know what I mean? Against a guy that's walking in on you.
That's small.
Yeah, walking in on you, and he didn't do that. Know what I mean? When you're a boxer first, as Quigg says he is, yeah, and as I believed he was, use your jab, and he didn't use it. And like you said, he gave away. I wouldn't say gave away. He left for interpretation on those first 4 rounds really, really bad. The reason why Quigg's really going to be disappointed though, and what's going to really hurt him, is that his gas tank. In about round 9, round 10, Frampton clearly slowed down and clearly looked tired. Yeah? Quigg looked fresh. Quigg weren't breathing heavy. Quigg weren't... It wasn't saying he didn't get hurt in the 11th and 12th round, because Frampton did hurt him, I think. But he weren't tired. And he never pushed the gas. He never left it all in the ring. I felt that at 12 rounds, Frampton was like, whoo, that was a tough fight. I worked. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Quigg was kind of like, oh, I can kind of go for a jog. He didn't seem tired or he put the extra mile in. You know what I mean? And that extra mile mostly was those first 4 rounds.
Sometimes though, I think we've got to give credit to the person that makes you not want to be able to...
No, of course.
Throw it all out there. And, you know, I think maybe he was apprehensive. This was his biggest opponent. This was the guy in front of him that, you know, they've been talking about fighting for 4.5 years, and now it's right there. It's live. It's in front of you. And sometimes that can lead to apprehension. I just think one person was able to dictate his style a bit more. We always said that Frampton was probably the better boxer of the two, and I think he was able to show I'm the better boxer. He's definitely not the biggest puncher. He's definitely not the bigger guy, and he was able to use his better boxing skills in the first maybe 8 rounds.
He used his advantages,
whereas Quigg didn't use his advantages, which were winging body shots and putting all that strength and weight on until 10th, 11th, 12th. And by that time, it was too late. And like I said, if going into the 12th round, it was a dominant Quigg round, you could have easily said that's a draw. Or something crazy could have happened in terms of it going the other way. Because Frampton showed his experience in the 12th, and that's what it came down to, experience, I think Frampton got the win. It's just, it was a good fight. Well, the last 4 rounds were a good fight. The rest were kind of boring, to be honest. But you're right, Quigg will wake up and think, damn.
I agree. The last 12 rounds was... The last round was Frampton's experience of going through the fight, but he looked really tired. And like I said, I just think though that if you, like you said, it's Quigg's fight of his life, the fight he went for 4.5 years, all the hype, all the build up. You want to say in your heart of hearts, I gave it my all. I went out there and I fought my heart out. And I don't think Quigg did. You know what I mean? I didn't think like I said, he had reserves, and he went home after 12 rounds and had his reserves sitting down and watching TV. I mean, he didn't feel... Where Frampton went home and said, guess what? I'm going to sleep.
We kind of briefly spoke about the crowd before the fight. I think me, you and Charlie kind of briefly spoke about what it does for you. And I kind of feel like if it was pro-Manchester in that arena, Quigg, the last 3 rounds would have just been mental. Imagine that was Ricky Hatton and he's down to the last 3 rounds. That crowd would have him up. And I thought because the crowd was seemed about 70% Belfast, I think that didn't give him that little oomph he needed to kind of go in. And what Frampton said at the end, is this Manchester or Belfast?
It will put that Belfast in there.
It
will put that Belfast.
Remember he said it? He said it will feel like Belfast in there. And they weren't lying. They weren't bloody lying. It really did feel like Belfast in there. Well done. Well done for both.
I want to say one thing
though. Good paychecks for both of them.
Good paychecks, One thing
Quigg might be able to move out of his mum's house now. Said he might be able to move out.
That's by choice.
Okay.
I'll say this though. One thing I will say about the whole final week, which we didn't catch we didn't know at the time in our wrap-up video we done last week. Well done to Frampton, he won. But I think his camp and his team were just so cocky about the B side, the A side element of the fight. And by Saturday evening, I was really playing and said, please Quigg, don't let me down, please Quigg. I really wanted someone to, seriously, not to shut up Frampton, that whole camp about where the A side, we want the room, if you can't have the room, no one's having it. He's not the A side, I'm the A side, I've got to be in the front of the pit poster, my name's first, his name's second. I thought really, that was the whole ego element of it. And I said, I don't think it was individual, because I don't think Frampton really cared personally about the whole element. But even the whole thing where they bring in, Frampton's team bringing their own furniture into the dressing room and they had that big picture in the background of Frampton. I just thought like, yes, you're the A side of the fight, but you need to slow it down a little bit. And I said, I think that was just from the entire camp, especially McGuigan.
I don't know, personally. I've looked at, obviously we've been doing this a bit now, so I kind of look at these big fights when they happen, and supposedly the contracts, a lot of people put these things in the contracts. But more than that, I don't think...
contract.
And I don't necessarily think it was... Look, I think it's Barry McGuigan and Eddie Hearn. That's all it is, really. It's like one trying to get the one up on the other. We know how it ended. It didn't end well, and I think that's the problem. Frampton and Quigg seem amicable. You see it after, and you see McGuigan saying, look, give Quigg a round of applause. He's a bloody good fighter. He's done the same thing in Ireland, saying, look, guys, don't boo at their kind of their press conference. Give Quigg a round of applause. It seems to be McGuigan, versus Eddie Hearn. And that seems to be the problem is, and a lot of people says Eddie's a bit arrogant. People say McGuigan's arrogant. And I think it's just two guys.
Two arrogant people don't
clashing. There's a former boxer who thinks, wait a minute, you've not even ever boxed.
Yeah.
And there's a promoter saying, well, you've got no one. I'm the top promoter.
Yeah.
And they're just bumping heads all the time. And I think that's what's all said and done. But good British fight. But
I wouldn't take nothing away from the fight at all. I think the fight played out the best way it could. Like, you could have got a more entertaining fight overall. But I think in terms of what they had and what was at stake, they had to be cagey. But just going into the fight, I just thought, come on, this A-side, B-side stuff, man, this is slow down, man. I want to watch a fight. I don't really care about the A-side, B-side stuff. You just got too much for me.
I think personally, when you've got a small promotional team, which is what they are,
you got
coming up against a massive entity, you've got to stand up. You've got to put your foot down a bit. And it's not like they've got 27 stars; they've got one.
No, and
they're coming up against this mammoth of a giant in Matchroom. Back your boy.
No, I understand that.
I think you should back your boy. You are the A side. Make it known you're the A side. Make it known that this fight is only happening because of you.
But you don't need to hear that in every interview, every single time. I mean, those guys done 100 interviews in the past couple of days. You know what I mean? And all the interviews are based around A side, B side, A side, B side. I want this room, you want that. You're not getting this. I want this. I want that. It's like, come on now. It sounds like 5-year-olds bickering.
It happens though.
But that's what it sounded like. Now, I mean, that's not
Mayweather puts in his. It happens. I know it's Mayweather, but everyone does it.
But you get my point. That's what it was.
Very interested in where Scott Quigg goes, by the way. Very interesting to see where Scott Quigg goes. Because you know what it is? You don't headline again. That's the problem for Scott Quigg. Doesn't headline again.
I think they commit Scott Quigg headline in his next fight just to see the market share, considering he's been in a big pay-per-view.
Headline where?
Huh?
Where, like that arena?
Maybe a smaller arena.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is,
maybe York Hall, Bethnal.
Nah, come on. But seriously, you just come for pay-per-view, regardless if you're A-side or B-side, you just come for pay-per-view in the main event.
C-side.
Don't put him back on the undercard. You got to try and maintain something off that. You know what I'm trying to say? You got to try and take positive from that performance and say, all right then, let's put him on the main event. Let's see how that goes. Let's see if he actually sells now off that pay-per-view.
You know the problem is, when you have a tentative fight like that, and you lose, it really hurts. When you have a war and you lose, you can sell it again. Look, for example, who shouted rematch yesterday?
No one.
Did you hear that? Out of interest. So we got a split decision. We got 116, 112, which is close. I didn't hear one word of a rematch.
I don't want to see rematch either.
This is it. So I feel like that hurts Quigg a bit more.
No, it does. But I think if I was Matchroom, I'll take a risk and I'll put Quigg on the main event and I wouldn't stack the undercard. Would you put Quigg with Rigonda? Nah, not worth it. Not worth it. You're gonna hurt a fighter who just come off a loss against one of the best fighters pound.
Would you put him now? Maybe a good shout now, and Nonito Donaire. Or would Nonito Donaire want the fight? Now there's no title on the line. Would Nonito Donaire want the fight? Does it mean anything to fight Quigg now? Unless you offer real good money, and the only way Eddie can offer real good money is if it's pay per view. Do you know what I mean? How do you get? It really hurts him in terms of what you do with him. I really do think without a title, what's the incentive to fight Quigg without a title?
There's not much. And he don't want to be a person that has to travel around the world for the fight.
It's a tough one.
That's why you got to roll the dice, make him try and put him in the main event and see if he actually sells, if he's got a crossover from the pay-per-view. If he has got something, build on it. If he doesn't have something, then you have to say, look, you're going to have to travel around. Let's go with the news. And quite a bit this week. So let's start with ITV possibly back in boxing. They are negotiating right now 20 plus dates to go on domestic TV. This ties in with the huge numbers they did for Frampton versus Avalos.
It was Avalos, wasn't it?
It was Frampton versus Avalos. They were impressed with the production, the numbers, and everything that came through, and they started to explore what was the possibility. About 4-5 months ago, there was a rumour that PBC was trying to make a UK entity and they were negotiating and looking around for a TV outlet. This ties in with ITV. Rumour has it that Al Haye will take some of these dates and the other dates will be done by obviously other promoters based on a fight by fight basis for that, the best quality fights for ITV. I think it's great news.
I think it's strange news, especially now you said PBC. I find that very strange, and the reason I find that very strange is because PBC have, or they work alongside Matchroom with some of their fighters. So that means obviously that kind of stops that, because Matchroom fighters are never going to go on ITV because they're Sky fighters. So in terms of what it does for me, it makes more fights even tougher to make now.
Yeah.
When you think of that now, it makes even the juggling to get these fights now, because ITV are not going to work with Sky.
Yeah.
That's just not going to happen. They're too big in terms of entities. They're massive themselves. I like it, but I would have preferred it to be ITV giving the contract to someone over here, personally.
Yeah.
That's what I would prefer, because I don't want to see more fractured, so we don't get to see more fights, because now PBC are with ITV and blah blah blah.
Okay, I understand your point, but I think that boxing is an international sport. Giving the fights to people over here, or having it strictly for UK fighters, which end up being the same thing as a Matchroom and a Sky. I think having the option to have variety, having UK fighters, American fighters, Germany fighters, fights from all over the world, providing on quality of the matchups, is better overall.
Can I quickly jump in? Sorry.
Yeah.
That's better, but for ITV, you know, this is the problem. ITV is a British channel.
Yeah.
You can get two of the best Americans come over, the best. Casual fans on ITV are not tuning over and watching it because they're not British. That's just the way it works, unfortunately. People in Britain are only going to tune in on British TV. Remember, not us as box fans, we'll tune in for anything, but the British casual public are only going to tune in if it's two British names they know. I don't think they're tuning in for Golovkin versus Canelo on ITV. It sounds stupid, but I don't think Golovkin Canelo does big numbers on ITV.
Okay.
Quigg Frampton will do huge numbers on ITV. Golovkin Canelo won't.
A lot of times, especially in America, you get split site events. In the UK as well, where we got a big fight in America and they match up with a UK card and do split side events. Depending on how they want to do it, they could do split side events where you got the American paper main event and have a UK main event, tie it in together. I don't know how it will work, because again, PBC generally is on about 1, 2 in the morning depending. So if they wanted live events, or they might do the same day tape delay, what they used to do back in the day, but they used to have the fights on in America at like 2, 3 in the morning, they show at 9 o'clock, so you wouldn't really miss it. As soon as you wake up, the fights are on. I don't know what they're going to do. The point is that they've got options.
I think with ITV, you won't have, like we did back in the day with Ben, Eubank, Nassim, where we get these guys on stupid contracts. Even Audley Harrison had one, like a 10-fight contract with BBC or something ridiculous. Yeah, it was stupid. I think you'll get now where they just bid on individual fights that look good and get them in the dates. And I feel like that's what's going to happen. I can picture James DeGale fighting on ITV soon. James DeGale's travelled, he went to, you know, he's still, like we said on the show last week, what's going on with James DeGale? George, there's a lot of fighters now, I think, that are not loved, for want of a better word, or superstars at Matchroom. They might think, ITV. And I think, why not? Why not? I want boxing to be big again. And the only way boxing is big again in this country is if it's on domestic TV, like what we grew up watching on ITV, when it was the big fight nights, Jim Rosenthal and all them guys. Bring it back. I'm bloody happy.
Can you imagine that, like I said, so let's say TGB, the promotion coming out, won the Selby fight, said, guess what? ITV's got dates. Let's try to do something with ITV.
This is it.
That's a Matchroom fighter, or Matchroom's UK fighter, but they didn't bid on Selby's fight. And then Eddie Hearn done an interview which said, well, your profile's been hurt a bit. So we could be thinking, wait a minute, you're my UK promoter. Why are you saying that for? Or why I ain't got things over here? Well, I'm going to fight on ITV. Then what? There's problems. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I put a tweet out and I said, okay, Britain's got, I don't know how many world champions, 12,
12, 12, I think it's 11 now.
Name the superstars. Name the superstars. Look, I get that people say, oh, they should promote themselves. Well, they're not called promoters. They're called fighters. You've got a promoter to promote you. You look at Dana White in UFC, I know we don't want to go in there, but bloody hell, he's tweeting about it. He's all over the place about his fighters. And I think, yes, there's a bit of self-promotion, but these guys, first and foremost, aren't all good speakers. Do you know what I mean? They aren't all sellers like that. They're not being promoted. ITV will promote them.
See, that's the thing about it. Whereas, who said that? I saw an interview a while ago, and they said the game has changed. Back in the day, a promoter will sell everything for you. He said, now, if you don't sell 1,000 tickets, you're not getting signed. If you don't sell this, if you don't have your own bring, you got to show that you could actually bring people, or you don't get TV slots.
So
even if you're a good fighter, if you don't actually put bums and seats in the arena, it doesn't count. Let's go to last week's controversial decision between Felix Sturm and Chudinov. Team Chudinov is putting a process in over the decision, and they've also put in another protest with the dispute over the gloves that were used. The gloves that Chudinov had, they're saying were faulty. The ink, the stain, the red was falling off, and the glove was all tattered after the fight. Those red marks we were talking about that were on Sturm's sides was the dye of the gloves.
Oh, interesting.
And so they're saying basically, one, the decision was controversial, was obviously incorrect, but also the standard of the gloves were 40. Look, I saw a picture of the gloves, and the gloves look like they've been tattered. These are the type of gloves you see in the old boxing clubs being used for 20 years. Now, I mean, the gloves look literally ruined. Obviously, they're not going to reverse the decision, but the whole plan is to get a immediate rematch. There's already rumours that Stern might retire after that fight, obviously as a champion or whatever. But does that put a little bit of extra scrutiny on the whole decision over in Germany? That now he's saying that the decision was wrong, but someone actually had dodgy gloves, 40 gloves.
Yes, but watching boxing, you get to pick your gloves before the fight. The whole camp gets to look at the gloves before the fight. So if Chudinov didn't as a boxer, it's not his fault, but his manager and his second man and whatever should be looking at the gloves.
Yeah.
You know, there should be experience enough. We've seen fights not happen nearly because no, gloves are not right. We've seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, even Fury Klitschko was like, no, those gloves are not good, correct? I remember Mayweather Maidana. There was a problem about the padding in the gloves, and that took ages to resolve. So it's your team's thing to look at the gloves before the fight. That's the way it should be done. With regard to the decision was disgrace.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I see so many photos of Sturm and Chudinov after the fight with Sturm having about and Chudinov smiling like,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, you just got robbed.
Sturm's a star though, so you know.
Yeah, but still, he's got robbed in Germany. Look, I want him to get the rematch. It's not going to happen. Sturm is going to vacate and retire 100%. And I want to see Chudinov. You know what would have been nice? I'll be honest with you. If Sturm didn't retire, I'd love to see B-Hop go over there and beat Sturm, or have a chance. And no, because B-Hop hasn't got the 168 belt.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect opportunity. Because Sturm's the kind of opponent I wouldn't mind seeing B-Hop in with.
Yeah.
I don't want GGD, I don't want Collab and all them kind of fights.
You could promote it as well, saying that, guess what? Stern really beat De La Hoya, and he should have fought Hopkins.
You know the way they do it, it's stupid.
Yeah, they could tie in a history of 10 years.
Physically, I think B-Hop's up for that.
Yeah.
And B-Hop, you know what I mean? So that's if B-Hop's going to go out, fight again, I don't want him to fight. Look, he's talking about Stevens, I don't want them fight. I wouldn't mind Stern B-Hop.
I'm not saying, but you know Hopkins agreed to the terms for Golovkin, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silly.
Let's go back to this glove thing for a second. I understand your point that the team could look at gloves, but you know, it's like,
what are you looking for? You're not looking for it to crack.
Yeah. I've known someone, quick story, I know someone that bought a car looked lovely, drove it around and tested it, came up on the motorway, started smoking. Yeah, you could look at a car and look at everything, all the water's good, the oil's good, everything's good, it's working, it's drove good for 20 minutes. So when you drive for an hour, 2 hours, that it starts falling apart. Now I mean, you don't know. Yeah, but to have gloves that are such substandard means one of two things. Either it's the 1 in a billion glove that was 40 out of the whole one they made, or it's been tampered with.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You got to look at.
I'd be shocked.
I think they were Grant gloves. Grant is one of the best brands for gloves. Yeah, I mean, loads of boxers use them in every single fight. They make thousands of gloves per year. Trust the 140 glove to be in that fight, in the world title fight, on a dodgy decision. It sounds conspiracy theory-ish. I'm just saying so. When you think about gloves, you got gloves at home. I got gloves at home. Gloves don't really deteriorate like that.
What I will say about these so-called nice Grant gloves that everyone seems to now love, and you know, he's been doing it for a while, so I'll give him credit. These gloves are all looking a bit blingy for me nowadays. No, real talk. No, they are. No, they're matching gloves with your colour of the shorts. Have you not seen it? Gloves were just standardly red gloves before. In red, and sometimes you get your black one. Now you're seeing gloves with bling green and shiny thing. Yeah. What are those substances into it? You know, wonder they're peeling away. It's like these gloves looking a bit too fancy nowadays for me.
Thurman Porter is now off. Yeah, Keith Thurman got into a car accident.
Yes,
and it seemed like he's suffering with like whiplash. Okay. In terms of whereas he had an accident a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Was told to like take a break from training. Started sparring, and when this was sparring, was not really feeling up to it. Felt shaky. The card now has completely been cancelled, and they're trying to reschedule. Team Porter saying, you know, look, I always say Team Porter, Kenny Porter. Sometimes gets on my nerves, you know, Kenny Porter. Sometimes he seems very just negative. I want proof of doctor's notes. I want this. I want that. I didn't see nothing. I didn't see no accident. It's like, well, do you live with the guy? No, I mean, you can't say that. You don't. Someone's been in a car accident, and something like whiplash could affect people weeks and months down the line. You know what I mean? How they feel. But now they're saying that they don't know if the fight's going to go ahead because they want to reschedule, but he doesn't want Sean to be sitting on the fence for X amount of time, which is a fair point. Do we get to see Porter Thurman before summer 2016?
Nah. Nah, I think the
long.
opportunity. I think the opportunity is now gone. And if you're someone like Porter, it's not Furman's fault.
Yeah.
Car accident's a car accident. It's not like it was a motorbike accident.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say you shouldn't be riding. Car accident's a car accident. But if you're someone like Porter that's trained your ass off for what would have been your toughest fight to date, I think, and then it doesn't happen, that must be very difficult. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I mean, look, we go gym and we stay in shape. Imagine what we're trying to plan. Oh, I'm going on holiday in 6 months and I'm going to get in the best shape. A week before your holiday, it's cancelled.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I've got, dieting. I've bloody been eating vegetables for a year. What's going on? You get demotivated.
Yeah.
So I can understand for Porter, whose last fight was, I had to get down to 145 pounds and then I couldn't rehydrate for anything more. And now this big fight comes, and not just a fight, you pay for sparring partners. Every money in your account. I hope he gets that back, and a lot of fighters don't. He's probably spent thousands and thousands already, and then you don't get your money that you would have got anyway.
So I tell you what, that happens all the time. Boxing, people get injured, people lose revenue.
Yeah.
That's part of the sport. Like I said, especially in a combat sport like that, people get injured all the time. It's not like, oh, he was training too hard or whatever. It was just an accident. It was an accident that happened driving. That happened to anyone. I mean, like, that's driving. It's a dangerous thing sometimes. I was more disappointed in Kenny Porter's side of the story. Kenny Porter, like I said, does seem very, very negative and argumentative. I remember I saw that big interview where he wanted to fight Adrian Broner. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to, the world's not always against everyone. You know what I mean? Everything's not a conspiracy to hold you back. Everything's not always a challenge or some sort of competition. Sometimes you just got to take things for what they are. When you see Kenny Porter in an interview, he jumps in on Sean Porter's interview. He's kind of like the old school Death Row Puff Daddy thing, where every time there's a video, Puff Daddy's in the video. Yeah? That's Kenny Porter.
I think we're being a bit harsh on him. I really think we're being a bit harsh on him. I think Broner was a horrible individual in the build-up. Yeah. Horrible individual in that build-up. And I think Kenny Porter's thinking, look, Porter should back himself, but Porter he's not like that. Yeah. Sean Porter's very quiet, isn't he?
He's a humble dude.
And I think his dad's thinking, I've got to defend my son a bit sometimes. And I think he doesn't need to. Your son is a grown man. Yeah. But I think he can't get away from thinking, I've got to defend my son all the time because my son don't talk. Okay, but it reminds me of a bit. When Garcia's dad used to do it all the time. Remember Garcia never used to talk? Never used to talk, Garcia. And then his dad was always, I want to do that. It's a bit like that. Yeah. But
Kenny Porter wanted to fight Adrian Broner. And like it was a competitive fight.
So what's that good? And Garcia wants to fight everyone. Garcia wanted to beat up Zab Judah. Yes, he did. I saw that.
They were arguing.
No. He said, come outside, let's fight. Zab Judah. I remember
again. We've criticized Angel Garcia.
What I'm trying to say though is that's the father-dad relationship in boxing, and we've seen it before.
I know.
Not everyone's going to be like Mosley's dad, who doesn't say much. Yeah. Sometimes you get these ones. Look at Floyd Mayweather Senior.
Remember Roy's dad.
Look at Zab Judah. When Zab Judah done a low blow on Floyd Mayweather, Roger was the first one to kick his ass. It just happens.
Okay. Have you heard of a guy called Gabriel Salvador?
No.
Okay, so this guy called Gabriel Salvador is a waiter for a restaurant in Hollywood.
Well, of course I've not bloody heard of him then. Right? You think I go to restaurants in Hollywood all the time? I know I travel a bit, but yeah.
So this guy, Gabriel Salvador, is suing Manny Pacquiao, Freddie Roach, and CBS because he negotiated the Mayweather Pacquiao fight.
Oh wow!
So this guy basically is a waiter, and Freddie Roach goes to this restaurant regularly.
This is fantastic.
And so does this guy called CBS guy Movan, Mr. something like that. This high executive in CBS. So the Mayweather Pacquiao fight couldn't go along, and they were having problem negotiations. This guy arranged for Roach to meet this head honcho at CBS and arranged a dinner between them so they can negotiate the Pacquiao Mayweather fight. Yeah. So Gabriel Salvador was promised within this conversation that he'll never have to be a waiter again, and he'll make a lot of money and get like 2% of the revenue involved in this. This is a verbal agreement. So ultimately the fight gets made. Gabriel Salvador gets a ringside ticket to Mayweather Pacquiao. Gets I think it was £50,000. No, I think it was £10,000 spending money and stay in a hotel. He's asked Roach or CBS whatever for extra money, and Roach offered him £50,000. He said nah, and now he's suing all of them for breach of contract that he wants his just due.
Yeah. Okay. I think the guy's right. I think the guy should get paid. I'm genuinely believing the guy should get paid. Roach,
Right.
because Roach has offered him 50 grand.
Yeah.
For Roach to offer you $50,000
Means you have something.
means there's something. You used to get a ringside ticket when ringside tickets were going for $250,000, and for you to get 10,000 spending money and be put up in I'm guessing a first class 5-star hotel. You've done something here of some stance. You've not just came and given them water and hi guys, what's your order? You've obviously done something. Maybe that guy from CBS always comes into that restaurant and maybe Roach does. He's like, I can phone you guys. The guy's done something of some substance. Look, I don't think the guy's made the fight that stupid. But I think the guy's put the ball rolling somehow, because $50,000 is a hell of a lot of money.
And for you to turn it down.
For you to turn down 50,000, you know you've got something in there. I'm not trying to say that the guy should get paid millions, but 2% would have been like 1 million or something. But I think the guy has been he's done something here of substance, and Roach knows it. And Roach had tried to offer 50. And if I was the guy, I would have said to Roach, no, 100, and I would have met halfway. The guy's got a bit too greedy now, and that could be his downfall. Because once you're trying to go against Bob Arum's lawyers, you know you're finished. But there's obviously some truth.
He must have gone to court.
He's going to get paid. He's going to get paid.
See
how dodgy is that?
I'll tell you what my problem is, and it's not a problem. I'll tell you what, I've become a decent businessman in the terms of that. I understand that what you say and what you do is two different things. If I was a waiter and I negotiated this year, I'll be having a contract. Oh, someone solicitor said, look, I've met this guy and met that guy. They're negotiating this off my back. I wouldn't wait for someone to throw me a bird every time they want. Oh, come to the fight, here's a ticket. Oh, here's 10 grand. Oh, stay in this hotel. You know what I mean? Oh, when you want something, give me a call. If you were dealing, if you thought you had substance in this whole scenario, you should have planned the business side a bit better.
I get that, you should have, and it's the hindsight is a beautiful thing. When you're involved in it right at the second, and you're thinking, oh my god, that's Roach, that's CBS, and I'm going to I don't think you're even thinking that this is going to happen. I think at the time, remember the fight was nearly a year ago. At the time, you're thinking. 2 years ago now, maybe. At the time, you're thinking. Exactly. So at the time, you're thinking, $10,000 in a ringside seat sounds bloody good. And then someone's obviously had a word of it and said, what? That fight generated nearly $700 million. And they're like, oh, what? So I think at the time he probably accepted those things.
I can't remember the figure what he's asking for, but he's asking for a substantial figure.
What, like 10 million? Something stupid.
It was a substantial figure.
Why not go for it? Why not go for it?
I'm not saying
if you ask for 10 and you get 1, you won.
I'm not saying you shouldn't go for it. I'm just saying as though, like, you should have thought smarter than that.
Yeah, but he's a waiter.
He's an actor.
He's a waiter.
He's a waiter acting as an actor.
Waiter. As an actor. acting as a waiter.
David Haye petitions for Ali to be given a knighthood.
Interesting one this was.
Well done to David Haye. David Haye's got a lot of stick from us, for certain reasons. And I think that's a good one. I like it. The petition has grown a lot. I think it's got over 12,000 votes when I saw it Friday or something like that. And Ali's coming over shortly for his exhibition at the O2. And it's actually hit front page news. I think it was in the Daily Mail or even Standard. It was like, should Ali be given a knighthood? And the article itself was only like a little small article, but it actually hit the front page news of a few papers. I think it's a really good idea, and I think Ali deserves a knighthood. But at the same side, I think he should have been offered a knighthood on merit, not because someone's asked for it.
I need to. I've not read in terms of what the. I don't know the term to use. What the criteria is to get a knighthood. Do you have to be British?
It's an honorary one.
Do you have to be? It's an honorary knighthood. So you don't have to be British. Because all the knighthoods before have been British. If you don't have to be British, then what Muhammad Ali has done, just for me personally, as a young boy growing up, for everyone, forget boxers, just everyone in general, is just unbelievable.
I'll say this year, it's not because we're boxing fans, but I don't think there's been one individual athlete that's had an effect on people of all generations, of all kind of all age groups, of all nationalities. I think he's one of the few people that's actually crossed over into everything. Not comparing him to a cultural figure, but see like Mahatma Gandhi and
you're right. Mandela,
someone that, just having someone that's revered so much by people, I can understand it. And I think that when you look at, I don't want to say social changes, but the the personal self-development of a person, it's inspiring, because at a time when Ali was considered to be a negative person with the Nation of Islam, and then obviously he was talking about for Black Power, and these kind of said, nah, he's changed that.
I don't think that's negative.
No, I'm saying at the time.
Okay.
At the time. And then he's changed that, and now instead of being seen as a threat to people, he's actually loved by everyone. It shows the evolution of a person. You know what I mean? I think
I just think his life and his life story is just immense. I mean, you could show 7-year-olds his photo and they know that's Ali.
Yeah.
And that's remarkable. If you think about that, guys, for a second, that's remarkable that you can show 7-year-old people the photo and they know. And not only that, but when people are getting these sirs and these knighthoods for acting, I mean, act. I mean, do you know? This guy's done it all. And it's look, I know he's suffering from Parkinson's, but if Muhammad Ali could speak,
if he was around today, we mentioned it 3 months ago. If he was here today, what he could do?
God,
what he could do?
The way he could rally people. See, when people like Mayweather says, "I'm the best ever," if Ali could retaliate and talk and just what?
Okay, sticking with David Haye, his return date is now being confirmed for, I think it's the 21st of May.
Yes.
So
I like that. I like that a lot.
So staying reasonably active for 3.5 months from his last fight, so not bad at all.
I'd be interested to see this on Dave again.
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting to see if they, because I'm not joking, if they negotiate with Haye and it was like, I don't know how much I would have paid him, let's just say $500,000, whatever it was. Boy, their check might have to be a bit bigger to keep him. Yeah. Because I'm not joking, if it done 1.3 million and their next best showed them like 70,000.
I'll tell you this right now. If David Haye, if this ITV deal comes through within the next
will come through that quick?
I don't know. That's it's like this. Apparently, this ITV deal's well into negotiations. Yeah, it's like you know, if that came through within the next month or two, I could clearly see David Haye on ITV.
I don't know if it needs to come through. I think they could just bid for David Haye, like find a slot. A 2-hour slot, especially if they know the date now. They know the date now, which is what, 2 months away. Find a slot for him.
ITV wouldn't even have to bid a lot. David Haye will take it straight away.
Yeah, because David Haye says he wants free TV, so yeah.
That's what I'm trying to. Even if they pay less than the going rate, having that coverage on ITV means the future is bright. Yeah. Sticking with David Haye quickly, again this week he reiterated that he could see himself knocking out AJ in 1 round. David Haye's already predicted that Joshua will beat Martin. That's on the 9th of April. He's definitely pushing for this fight now. He wants this fight sooner rather than later. He sees this fight, in my opinion, for summer/September. I don't think it will happen.
No way. No way. What?
No way.
Put David Haye in with AJ.
No way.
And David Haye just get the IBF belt just like that. Off the back of retirement for 3.5 years. Nope.
I haven't seen the video of this, but there's a video of Chris Eubank KOing an amateur fighter in sparring. Have you seen the video?
I haven't, but I read the statement from Nick Blackwell.
And Nick Blackwell obviously had a good go at Eubank for that, especially to release it. I think Blackwell's right. I think that's really poor for Eubank. Really, really poor. Normally sparring's close footage. To get a world-class fighter in Eubank to spar with an amateur, knock him out and then post it, as if to say, well, look what I've done. You know what I mean? You get what I'm trying to say though? That's really, really...
There's almost this thing where you love him and you hate him. Like, you love him for the absolute sheer arrogance of the man, but at the same time, it's wrong.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
But it does seem now, though, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it's just a quick Frampton thing and sparring where in my day, I say my day because like I'm an old man, seemed to be something you never heard of and it just happened. You didn't even know who sparring partners were really back in the day. You didn't know that man was in that man's camp sparring. Now it just seems to be the norm where people talk about what happened in sparring. It seems to be the norm.
No, it does.
I knocked you out in sparring, I knocked you down. It's like, shut up.
No,
I don't care about sparring.
So I tell you what,
sparring means shit for me, really. It doesn't mean much to me.
Sparring is learning and doing certain things, When sparring comes to fights, it needs to be taken up, Someone could be caught with a shot and be knocked out. That should be an accident. That should be posted on YouTube or posted wherever you want to, wherever he posted it. We've seen all the sparring matches. We've seen some shocking things in sparring as well, It doesn't mean that's the be or end all because someone got the upper hand in a scenario. You know what I mean? Sparring is not a real fight. Especially sparring someone who is not up to scratch. Beating up and knocking out a guy that is underskilled has zero credit.
No, but I think we're taking away from the main thing here. And the main thing is it creates headlines. Chris Eubank is a headline maker. That's what Nick Blackwell and I think a lot of British fighters that don't sell tickets and put bums on seats needs to realise, create a headline and it creates paper. It creates some sort of traffic. What Chris Eubank done there is a tactical genius thing.
Nah.
Come on, Ryan, you think it's the first time Chris Eubank's knocked someone down in sparring?
No.
Exactly.
Right.
He's done this perfectly to create a headline, and it creates headlines. That's all this guy does. I've noticed it now. All he does is create headlines.
Okay.
He just wants to do it, and he does it well.
I understand that. Yeah.
We're talking about it.
But yeah, I understand that. But there's a way to do things and a cheap way to do things. To me, that's a cheap shot to make a buck.
What do they say about publicity?
No, all publicity is good publicity. I'm saying though, okay, maybe it's just my morals, yeah. I think that's a cheap way to make a buck. You know what I mean? To actually use that advantage over someone who's not up to par, to hurt them, to knock them out, just to get a little buzz off yourself or to make a little headline. I think that's cheap.
I'll be surprised if he's not said to the kid, look, hey, do you mind if I put that? I'd be so shocked. Do you mind if I put that? Honestly, Eubank, nothing surprises me with the Eubanks.
Okay, but
they've been around now for
okay,
three decades. Nothing surprises
That's
me.
proves my point though, yeah? If he'd done that, that even makes it more disgusting in my opinion.
It's
that you
tickets.
paid someone, say, look, I'm not knocked you up, I'm going to pay you off just so I could get a boost of it in the press.
Why do you think? No, they didn't get a boost of it. Nick Blackwell, remember, let's be honest, Nick Blackwell released it on a press release for Mick Hennessy.
Yeah.
Can't you see what's going on here? Why have they even released it as a press release?
So,
they know what they're doing.
Okay, in theory, it builds up the fight.
Of course it does.
Put it in a press release, you're right, put it in a press release, get it out there, mix it up and everything, you know what I mean? So yes, it helps the fight more.
Perfectly.
Yeah? But helping the fight more doesn't mean it's good. Stick with the UK scene quickly in Children of Stars. Conor Ben, Nigel Ben's son, is going to be making his debut on the undercard of AJ White. Not sure it's going to be in the TV portion of it, but yeah, that's definitely happening.
Bloody hell. That's just, it's too much. It's too much. I mean, you're making your undercard, even if it's not on the TV portion, you're making your undercard debut at O2, pay-per-view event, 12, 15, I can't remember what the O2 holds. Your undercard should be at bloody Ponge Leisure Centre.
Yeah.
It should be at York Hall, Bethnal Green. You should want to do it the hard way. Let's be honest. Chris Eubank didn't make his undercard thing in an O2 arena. Remember, he had to go through all those Blue Water shows as well a bit. It's a big thing.
I strongly believe, I strongly believe that Amir Khan's career was hurt by TV exposure. Audley Harrison's career was hurt by TV exposure.
Too quick.
I think when I say hurt, it's that people start getting tagged with labels early on.
Massively.
You don't get a chance to learn your craft.
Look at AJ.
Yeah.
Look at AJ.
Yeah.
Johnny Nelson, sorry to interrupt you, Race, but Johnny Nelson even said that AJ's not, he's not the finished article yet. But we as fans, because we see him on TV and he's knocking people like, well, no, putting him with King Kong. Because, slow it down.
Yeah. See, what happens is that back in the day, you could fight on the undercard of the non-TV part, and if you get knocked down, no one cares. If you have a bad fight, no one cares. As long as you keep winning and stacking up those decisions, because you're learning. When you start putting your fights, your first fight, your second fight, your third fight, your fourth fight, on TV, people start seeing holes and start seeing certain things. And it also gives your peers around you a chance to watch your development and can say, guess what? Let's fight this guy now. Let's not fight this guy. Let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. And it causes problems. Audley Harrison, got tagged in his first 10 fights as what's the guy? What do you call the guy? A cherry picker. Because everyone watched all these fights. Those first 10 fights shouldn't have been main events on BBC. Amir Khan got tagged with having a bad chin by about his 7th or 8th fight because he got rocked a few times. You know what I mean? It's like you're tagging people. So even if Amir Khan's first few fights weren't shown,
no one would know.
And he got knocked out by Prescott, it would have been he got caught. When he got caught by Prescott, it was like, now he's definitely got a bad chin. It's proven now because everyone's knocking him down and everyone's hurting him.
Yeah, I'm massive on box, Rick. I think I'm on box every day. It's quite sad, I know. But then, what I do, I just go back and look at some of the guys. For example, Barry McGuigan, I didn't know, I completely forgot that Barry McGuigan got beat by Jim Watt in Manchester. So for some reason, I was on their records, I was looked at it, I was like, my God, Jim Watt fought at this leisure centre, that leisure centre. The first 15 fights were leisure centres, no arenas.
And it was all in short succession.
So I don't even know how the fight went down because it was just leisure centres with probably no cameras. And then it's like, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. I don't like when these so-called childhood stars, like you say, or even these guys that have had good amateur records or whatever, turn over and they get chucked straight in to the deep end cameras, and you know, and everyone wants to see them match too tough on their 5th or 6th fight where they're not ready.
Andre Ward got dropped, I think, in his 7th fight, and they called him Chinny. He's not Chinny. But everyone assumed he was Chinny because he got dropped in his 7th fight. It's like, you're learning, you're developing. There's a new show starting, boxing show, event called Knockout on the D. It's headlined by Zab Judah next week, I think, or the week after. And who's that? Remember WWF?
Yeah, what about him?
Commentating. Remember the commentating team?
Jim Ross.
Yeah, Jim Ross. You heard about it?
No, but Jim Ross was he was the commentator for WWF.
Yeah, Jim Ross is commentating on this fight.
Oh, he's been broken in half!
Yeah.
He's dead! Yeah. Best commentator ever. He is their best commentator. Have you know why he's best commentator ever? It's fake and he makes me think it was real.
No, he's passionate.
No, it's fake.
Yeah, I know.
He's fake and he makes you think it's real. He's broken in half! By God, Hulk Hogan is dead!
Stone Cold!
The funny thing is about the Jim Ross stuff, and guys, hopefully you know what we're talking about, by the way. He wears a cowboy hat most of the time.
Good old JR.
Yeah, good old JR. Yeah. Good thing about Jim Ross is that I read about him. I read like his profile, and no one as a commentator grows up wanting to be a commentator for WWE. It doesn't happen like that. He knows every sport, and WWF got him. Yeah. That's it, and paid very, very good money for him.
I know he's done MMA before.
He's done MMA. Bellator wanted to use him.
When WWE done their American football thing, the XFL.
Okay.
Remember the XFL?
I remember that. Jesus. Yeah. When Vince McMahon put his money
into American football, his own brand of American football. He done the commentary for that as well. He retired or sued the WWE in 2012, I think, and he left them, and he hasn't really been doing things here and there. But he's apparently a part of this show, and now he's going to be commentating on this event monthly. It's a new monthly series for boxing.
The problem is that we're not going to get the same Jim Ross. That Jim Ross, WWF, it was WWF and a bit of WWE, was so colourful in terms of what he could say. What's he going to say now? Oh, the jab has killed him. He's dead. Referee, stop the count. You're going to get the same guy.
I think with Jim Ross, I think it's his enthusiasm and his passion.
Let's hope that
carries it over.
I hope so.
And like Hands of Stone, the movie on Roberto Duran, has now got a release date. 26th of August 2016, starring Robert De Niro, and it's also got Usher, that singer.
Usher's playing Sugar Leonard.
Yeah, playing Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, release date for them. Apparently, high hopes for the movie. Big push. I think, in terms of boxing stories, Duran's got one of the best. Especially considered like one of the greatest lightweights of all time, mostly the greatest lightweight of all time. And obviously, the whole Fabulous Four thing, the whole career. I think if they do this right, we're in for a treat. And De Niro as well. You know, if he puts his mind on something.
Yeah, but De Niro hasn't done a good film for years, by the way.
I was thinking if he puts his mind on something.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess if you are going to release something, now's the time. On the back of Southpaw and Creed, people are accepting boxing movies again. I mean, the 80s and 90s were full of them, and it kind of went and died. But Southpaw, Jake Gyllenhaal's massive actor, he threw into that for the accolade that Sylvester Stallone's got for Balboa, for Creed. Yeah. So this is the time. Yeah. People are accepting it now.
And talking about Creed 2 as well, you know?
There you go. So this is the time to do it. I just don't know if his story is enough to get the average Joe out of their pants.
I think it's more of a story of redemption.
No, I mean in terms of in terms of people knowing him.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the Fabulous Four is big, but Sugar Leonard's the man from the. They know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think everyone mentioned Hagler Hearns.
But Sugar Leonard.
Out of the four, everyone mentioned the other three before they mentioned Hearns.
That's the thing. I mean, Duran, and I hope that it can get a big enough audience. That's why the Usher and De Niro are the biggest pushers for this.
Yeah. But also, they've been making this film for years. Yeah, I remember reading about this film maybe 5-6 years ago. Yeah, a long time ago. So I know it's been in development for a long time, which means they've spent time to study and train the people.
I do know that Usher's only recently, a couple of years ago, Usher was put forward to this. So whoever was playing Sugar Leonard before, they've upped the ante by getting Usher. Yeah. So they put a bit more money in it to get Usher now, because I don't think the guy that was playing Sugar Leonard before was. I think they put more money to think we've got something here. Yeah. And that could have been on the back of the likes of Southpaw and Creed. I think that there's a chance they can make real good money.
Because that's the thing about it, like okay, we get the films now, but these films, like especially like Creed and like Southpaw, these films are planned like 2-3 years ago.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
definitely.
Like they're written, they're in the studios, and they bounce from company to company before they actually make a decision who's going to take the film on. So
It's like
people
that.
can't know.
Jamie Foxx is doing the Tyson one.
That thing's account for another couple
Did
years.
you see? Have you seen Jamie Foxx on the Ellen DeGeneres or Ellen? Have you seen it?
No.
God, go and watch Jamie Foxx do Mike Tyson's voice on the Ellen DeGeneres, whatever her name is. It's phenomenal. It's close your eyes.
Yeah.
That's Mike Tyson.
Just sticking with the Hollywood theme quickly. Tony Burton, who played Apollo's trainer in the Rocky films, passed away this week.
Very sad that is.
Yeah.
Very sad. I loved him.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
I thought he was a real trainer.
Yeah, no, he was. He won Golden Gloves twice.
Oh, I thought I didn't know this. You know, something about him.
Yeah, in the 1950s, he won Golden
Because
Gloves
I
twice.
thought you look like you know what you're doing, Sam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This doesn't look like acting. You know what you're doing. What's his name? Jose Burton.
No, Tony.
Oh, Tony Burton.
Yeah, Tony Burton.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
shame.
trying to think of what other films I might have seen him in.
I've seen him in a few films, but I think when someone has a role that associated with him, so you always remember the Rocky films more than anything else he's done. But read a little bit on him, and again, like went prison. No, seriously, I went prison, played American football.
They do.
No, that's someone that's had
He's had a life.
a varied life.
He's had a life. He's had a life.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
All right, then our final bit. It's been going around for a while.
Sorry, very quickly. Sorry. How old was he? Did you say?
I think it was like 77 or 78.
Is that it? How old's Sylvester Stallone again? 65 or something? Stupid.
No, Stallone's about 70 now.
You can't be 70.
Yeah, or maybe even older.
Get out of here. You're trying to tell me there's only less than 10 years between them two?
Yeah. Okay, do you want to hear a joke?
So Stallone's not 70, by the way.
Yeah, he's 70.
He's not 70. Do you want to bet a bottle of Remy White Martin?
Oh, no, we already done it already, and you won that one.
Alright, Jack Daniels? Sylvester Stallone is about 65.
I should bet you because I know he's about 70.
He's not 70. Don't say, if he's something 68, don't say he's 70 because that's not 70, by the way. Sylvester Stallone is about 65. Dun, 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 dun. This phone's going slow, come on! Oh. This is too, I can't take it.
69.
Damn, it's not 70. It's not 70.
Alright then. So quick.
When's he dead, man? When's he going to be 70?
July.
Wow, so he's 70 this year?
Yeah.
So there's only 7 years between them?
Yeah.
You could have thought there was at least 20 years between them. Look, remember Rocky 4?
Yeah, Rocky 4, yeah.
You could have thought there was 20 years between them easily.
Yeah. Alright, one thing I will say.
Either he looked really old back then, or Sylvester Stallone looked really young, I don't know.
Stallone's definitely crazy. You know they're going to do Expendables 4 in it. So by the time he must be like 72.
and he does some fight scenes.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Did Stone Cold break his neck or something?
Yeah, Stone Cold break his neck. But yeah, he's like, oh shit, sorry. I didn't realise that was shit. Like, what's wrong with you, man?
Final bit. It's been going around for a while, but now it seems official that, well, not official, they're trying to get pros into Olympic boxing. Yeah. So this year is going to be the first year where there's no head guards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're going to do a different point scoring system, going back to the traditional way it was previously.
Yeah.
And now they're asking about bringing professional fighters back into Olympics. Vladimir Klitschko mentioned this week ago into it. He mentioned it about a year ago when they were talking about it, and other boxers have mentioned doing it as well. I think it's bloody crazy. I think it's dangerous. Going back to the Chris Eubank scenario I was talking about earlier on, what do you think about it?
It's stupid because, you know, it's stupid because it's almost like the mistake's been made before this.
Yeah.
Because every other sport in the Olympics is professionals.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's not amateur footballers there in the Olympics, not amateur swimmers. They're all the elite of the elite, like tennis, for example. But all of them, boxing is the only sport in the Olympics where it's the amateurs that are really actually taking part. So in that sense, the error's already been done from way back when. Yeah. But to get the pros in now and to put those against amateurs is what? That's the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my life.
Totally mad.
So imagine Anthony Joshua now fighting Anthony Joshua then. Yeah. It's two different things. You'll knock him out in about a minute. But I will say this. The line between amateur and pro has got a lot thinner. It's no, it has got a lot thinner. Amateurs now spar pros standardly, that happens. And we've seen the likes of Rigondo. I know these are just one-off names, but the likes of Rigondo, the likes of Lomachenko, where, you know, Lomachenko, second fight, was going to fight with Salido, it was close. Yeah. So he would have been a world champion after his second amateur fight. That would never have happened. And I think there was something happened a few years ago, someone like that. Yeah. Rigondo, 11 fights, world champion.
But see, there's good stories and bad stories. Who was the guy that fought Floyd Patterson when he's the Olympic champion? Was it Pete Ratchner? Fought Floyd Patterson in his first fight. He got hammered.
No, but I'm saying now. I'm talking about now. I'm not talking about those are good. I'm talking about right now. It's finished. We've even said an Olympic champion. We've said this a lot now, especially about the head guards now.
Yeah.
Really and truly, you don't have to wait 10 fights to put him in. You can put him with someone after 10.
Yeah.
You don't have to look at Anthony Joshua.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
And Joshua, really and truly, you said that Anthony Joshua's in your top of heavyweight 7, 8.
No, top 10. Top 10. Yeah.
He's only had 16 fights. The line has got seriously thin. I think the pros are coming down. I dare say in levels for me, and the amateurs are coming up. It's not as far. It's not as stupidly far-fetched as it was, I think, 20 years ago, with the likes of some stupid names winning Olympic gold medalists. But now, I just feel like, and I remember, like, Carl Froch trains in, used to train in the Sheffield Boxing Centre, which is where the British Olympic guys, and he sparred amateurs as well. Carl Froch, sparring some amateurs. Yeah. I just don't think it's as, like before, yesteryear, when you're an Olympic gold medalist, i.e. Muhammad Ali, i.e. Sugar Ray Leonard, i.e. Joe Frazier, there was almost like, you're elite. Yeah. Winning an Olympic gold, Oscar De La Hoya, we can keep going. Winning an Olympic gold is like, oh my God. Yeah. Right now, when someone wins an Olympic gold medal right now in boxing, I'm like, all right, you're decent. Alright, there you go, guys. Let's speak on boxing. Jeez, I love a big one. I don't know how long this is going to be. Me and Ryan we talk about something, we say like 2 minutes on this subject.
Alright then. Officially been filming for over 2 hours.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
We started filming, what time we started filming? About 10:30? Yeah. It is now 12:45.
I don't think it's going to pick that up. But the phone went black as well.
12:45.
Yeah, everyone kind of predicted this will be a long one. We do talk a lot. Sorry. What can we do?
Okay, we
need to boxing. We love talking boxing.
We need to get it down to about an hour.
What, 15 minutes again? 15 minutes again?
No way. Okay, let's stop talking.
Alright guys, there you go. This week in boxing. Leave your comments below. Share with us your thoughts and your opinions on all the subjects we spoke about today, and we will try and get back to you. We said we have, and we don't. We've stopped.
It's been tough, bro. It's been tough.
What's tough about responding in 10 seconds?
You know what I've got going on.
Yeah, he has got a start. He has got a lot going on. I'll give him that. He has got a lot going on, guys. Yeah. So it's me then, you're trying to say?
No, I'm saying I'll do it, but it's very hard.
Right. Yeah. Guys, comments below, subscribe, share the video on all your social media profiles. We probably should say this at the beginning, but we don't. We know a lot of you guys now watch to the end. So thank you for watching this long hour and a half.
And we will be catching up the comments.
Yes. And for all those people that betted me on the Frampton Quigg, I shall be leaving you my bank details. I want all the money transferred into my bank account today. Because I've got electricity and gas bills to pay on money. Ching ching.